Alright, hello everyone, Simon here, welcome back to our playthrough of Shadowrun Hong Kong! Man, hey, these runs are like 4 hours long. This game might be a lot longer than the other two. Shadowrun Returns was pretty short. Dragonfall was longer, but this one might be just really long. Maybe just like a lot more dialogue. Alright, so what are we doing? We came back and we went straight to the ship. Let's go back outside and just look around, walk around, talk to everybody we can find. Because I ended the recording last time without debriefing. We've got to talk to all our teammates and everything. Bolt hole. Alright, what's going on? Nothing going on there. Jin. So we have the magic shop. What do you have? Crafty zoo? Crafty shoe? Hey there, still don't know anything about the dreams, I'm afraid. I'm working on it though. In the meantime, if you want to buy something, I can hook you up. Alright, so I guess the side missions don't. They're not actually side missions because I don't think the game progresses until we finish all three of them. So they're basically main missions, you have to go through them. We got some money from the last mission. Question is there anything I want to buy? Not enough for chain lightning, not enough intelligence either. Why would you... Why would this use intelligence? Because intelligence is decking. Like the other spells, it's either spell casting or conjuring. Except that spell. Lightning bolt. Do I have this or do I not have this? That's 1 AP damage. AP is action points, right? Maybe I do want this. Remove action points from somebody. Magical explosion that pierces up to 2 armor? Isn't this the AoE? I don't have an AoE, right? Hold on. Yeah, so I don't have an AoE damage. Mana bolt pierces up to 2 armor. This is just... I like flamethrower because the cooldown is just 1, whereas that's like cooldown 2, you have to wait another turn before you can do it. You can do a flamethrower every single turn. In fact, can I have 2 flamethrowers? Mana ball is AoE 2, so I do want an AoE spell. This is cooldown 3, which is not very good at all. Mana ball 1, let me just look. Stun bolt does no damage, it only stuns. Acid stream, distraction, and then... Okay, this is spellcasting, and then this other stuff is conjuring. Shaman, shaman, shaman. Fetishes. Oh. Possession of this fetish grants a benefit of +1 willpower. Do I want to buy the fetish? You just put it... Shamanic fetish, hermetic fetish. I'm gonna get the mana ball. So I get an AoE spell. And the fetish just goes into an item slot, right? Or does it go into gear? I don't have enough money for the fetish anyway, so... let me see. +1 willpower. Oh. Alright, goodbye. See you around. So +1 willpower doesn't mean I can... So we can like get it up to there, but... Used to calculate chance to hit with magic spells. Helps boost resistance against certain magical attacks, such as Mana Bolt. Right. So it's magical defense and magical chance to hit. 9 is the maximum for humans. Who can get 11? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Alright, back out. Crafty Shoe doesn't have anything to say. Jin. Why, if it isn't the young one from before? Jin glances up at you, then returns to the game. Bah, can't you see we're busy? First of all, it's raining, and you're playing outside in the rain. Shu shakes his head at his friend. You never mind him. Is there something else you need? Thanks, gotta keep the game. Appreciate it, young man. We'll be seeing you. Alright, so they have nothing new to say. It looks like there's not that much for us to talk about after all. Hey, Reliable Matthew's trailer. The side of Matthew's trailer looks freshly scrubbed. It reeks of kerosene. Broad swaths of the flaking paint have been removed, revealing the brittle plastic siding. Discolored by years of acid rain, you can still see the faded black traces of erased graffiti. Wait, somebody graffitied? It reads Job Stealer. Job Stealer? Oh, it's this anti-robot. Some people are against automation. Something thumps inside the trailer. You could easily peer in one of the windows. Look in the windows. Inside a dingy, cramped living quarters, cluttered with broken drones and unwashed dishes. What looks like a rumpled, motley colored shag carpet is heaped over about half the tiny space, obscuring most of the furniture. After a moment, the shag carpet moves. It rises about a foot and surges slightly towards the window. Then it stops, pulsing and fidgeting. It's hard to see it clearly through the built-up grime on the window. Wipe the window. The carpet is actually plush-covered drones. Teddy bears, raccoons, little dolls. There must be 24 inside the caravan, all companionship models. They are all looking at you as if they realized you're not Matthew. They watch, fidgeting. Then, in one coordinated motion, they all lie down and go dormant again. There's teddy bear drones? You have a bunch of teddy bear drones? Okay. Reliable Matthew greets you with an expansive grin, sweeping his arms wide. SDKC, beautiful. To what do I owe this unexpected pleasure? Why, you're not here for some robotics, are you? Well, shucks. He rolls his shoulders ostentatiously and sticks his cigarillo casually between his teeth. His eyes have a strained, bloodshot look. Looks like someone vandalized your trailer. What? You mean the paint? That's just some neighborhood kids, good kids, having a lark. I nearly fell over laughing when I saw it this morning. What exactly are the drones you sell used for? Just about everything. They are helpers to metahumans in all sorts of useful ways. Drones cook, clean, carry messages, lift heavy loads, tend to delicate tasks, while drones can even care for the infirm and provide companionship to children. Matthew taps his temple with his finger meaningfully. Think about it. Beautiful. All the boring, dangerous, painful jobs that people used to do, the jobs that drones do now. He glances around at Hioi and up at the walled city looming above. Despite his bright eyes and gleaming smile, his voice sounds almost thoughtful. Because of mechanization, we don't force workers to breathe as many chemicals in the refineries. We don't make teenage girls pick silk cocoons out of boiling water, not anymore. Drones help us. He shakes off his passing air of seriousness, clamps his cigarillo in his teeth, thrusts his hands in his pockets. They're really something else, ain't they? How do people in here feel about drones? How do people here feel about drones? Why they love them? Just about every household that can afford drones has drones. You sure you don't want to try out this little UC-2 tarantula? It's a great entry-level personal assistant. Reliable Matthew smiles widely, but the edges of his mouth twitch uncontrollably. Drones free people to take skilled jobs. They make the economy more efficient, and drones give poor people services they couldn't ever afford otherwise. Yeah, why would someone call you a job stealer? No idea, drones are job makers. I mean, jobs. So like, hold on. So like, you know, not that long ago, even just a few decades ago, well, maybe more than a few, maybe like 4, 5 decades ago, right? You used to have like an office full of typists. They just like typing. Like you write something up and then you give it to someone to type, and they just type. And then there'd be like offices full of people just like doing math. before before there were like calculators, you just have people like doing math all day long. And then calculators were invented, and then those people lost their jobs, right? And then word processors were invented, and then all the typists lost their jobs. Typist used to be a job. So I mean, so this like the game here is talking about how automation is, you know, quote unquote killing jobs. But that's been happening forever, right? I mean, back in my like grandfather's day, right? Like my father, my father was young, my grandfather was like a laborer, right? He came out of China. He didn't have anything, and he just like go down to the docks, and like they would, like there would be like a, how would you call them? They would just like they just like pick a bunch of dudes off the street. I mean, they'd be the guys were on the street lined up, and then guys would come along and just like pick a few, and then that'd be the team, and then the team leader would take the team, go to the harbor, and just like load and unload ships. And there'll be a bunch of dudes, and they'll just be carrying stuff back and forth. So that used to be a job. Of course, these days there are forklifts and trucks and whatnot, so you don't have those jobs anymore. But used to be, you just have a bunch of like Chinese dudes hunched over, carrying like these huge loads on their shoulders, and they just kind of walk back and forth, loading and unloading ships, and that was your job. I mean, it's pretty rough, and you were hired like by the day, basically. And I mean, yes, the forklifts killed those jobs. Right, you can't just be a dude carrying stuff these days anymore. Like that's not really a job anymore these days. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's, like in the long run, in like the bigger picture wise, it's probably a good thing. But like in the moment, you know, all these dudes have to find a different job, have to figure out something else to do. Anyway, he waggles his cigarillo at you. I know what you're thinking, SCKC. I think it myself. Drones take jobs. Well, medicine takes jobs from undertakers, and sewer drones take jobs from people who used to crawl through filth to feed their families. Yeah, what he says. He holds his hand somberly over his heart, and his voice deepens. When you see a drone messenger or maid, it's easy to think that used to be a person. Could be, but that person can do another job now, and they can have a drone themselves. Everyone is better off. Yeah. I mean, even back in the old days, there were also people who didn't have jobs. It's not like the drones took their jobs. Right, because... yeah. I mean, there's always been unemployed people. Why? Matthew's voice rises, his smile wrinkles painfully around the edges as he carries on enthusiastically. The same people who call drone dealers job stealers often themselves come to me for... Matthew suddenly shuts up, his mouth gets even more waxy. Hey, let's not get all wound up about this stuff. It's too cheery a day for running off in our heads. Alright, so Matthew doesn't quite believe his own words. Wow, SCKC, just smell that brisk spring air. He inhales deeply through his nose, drawing in the fetid reek of the polluted river and the sudden heat of monsoon season. This topic is fascinating, really fascinating, but I've got to get back to work. Shall we walk the lots? I noticed you have a lot of drones in your trailer. Reliable Matthew smiles serenely at you. Drones in the trailer? Oh, I think I have a couple in there. Probably ones I'm fixing. Uh, probably. The repair work must never end. Looks like a full playpen to me. Probably the repair work must never end. Gotta keep them running. They need to work if they're gonna work for me. Alright. I'm just gonna... I never asked him this. Incredible bargains, huh? They fell off the back of a truck. Are you implying that they're stolen? If so, you're mistaken. He smiles indulgently as if you just said something in an alien language. This merchandise is provided only by trusted suppliers who certify the authenticity and workability of their goods. I don't furnish manufacturer certificates, but all the providers are really top shelf guys, really beautiful people. Otherwise I wouldn't carry their drones. Where do these trusted suppliers get them? Where do fans, prawns and soy chips come from? Or Lucy's lovely textiles? Or the electricity for the lights? I know where the electricity comes from, you steal it. Reliable Matthew sweeps his arms expansively at the heavens, trailing a stream of blue cigarillo smoke. Where do we get this glorious bluebird sky? Matthew takes a deep breath, staring rapturously at the grey clouds. He looks back down at you, his expression goes flat. He shrugs limply and speaks in monotone for a moment. They're smugglers and fencers. I don't know where they get their drones. Smugglers and fencers. Okay, I mean I know where they get their drones. Could I be a supplier if I have a spare drone? Well, it's a very exclusive process. You need to be a member of the community in good standing, have good references, and pass the background check. He smiles widely, his eyes seem to twitch over you nervously. Or, if all you have is the drone, I can work with you. Do these suppliers certify the untraceability of their goods? Absolutely! He proudly taps the S Technology logo emblazoned on a housework model beside him. Most of them are genuine knockoffs. Any IDs are stripped, but most were never registered in the first place. Sounds good to me. Alright, so these are basically stolen drones. Alright, I think I understand the situation. Fantastic. Alright, goodbye, Matthew. The fake cheerfulness thing is probably stressing him out a lot. Alright, nothing over here. Who's this? Handsome Lee? Who's Handsome Lee? It's muggy out, even for here in monsoon season. You pause to mop your brow. Suddenly you feel eyes upon you. As you glance up, you meet the tranquil, searching gaze of a man half hidden in the shadows. He's wearing a crisp, white-tailored shirt sleeves neatly rolled, with a dark grey silk tie and smart black trousers. If he's sweating, you don't see it. The man tilts his head over ever so slightly in greeting. A newcomer, welcome. He flashes you a brilliant smile, eyes glinting with bemusement. You can just barely detect a faint trace of an accent in his voice. Handsome Lee's the name, purveyor of enhanced sensory experiences. I can see you've got some tales to tell. You're not from around here, are you? His face flickers briefly. He's got a decent poker face, but you can see that he's rattled. And why do you ask? You've got an accent, Lee. It's barely there, but I can hear it. He fidgets uncomfortably. You're right, I'm not from here. Keep going. I was born in Taiwan. I was forced to flee during the Nationalist War. I hear you have a slight accent as well, Seattle? Emphasis on the slight. The corner of his lips curls smugly. It's your move, apparently. Good guess, Raymond Barons. Handsome Lee suddenly fixes you with his gaze, sizing you up. His face is impassable. Nasty place. What's it to you, anyway? Lee speaks lightly, but he avoids your eyes. Never been. I'm afraid it's not on my bucket list either. It's not a bucket list kind of destination, more of a place where people kick the bucket. Handsomely shakes his head and laughs. I know that kind of place, but let's not get into it just now, eh? I'm a businessman, and I would prefer if we could stick to business. Do you have permission to do business here, Handsomely? How about a friend? He opens his jacket, revealing a myriad of small bulging pockets sewn into the interior lining. Can I show you my wares? Show me what you've got, Lee. Oh, really? Oh, you're in so much trouble. You know there's another dealer in town. I ran into someone with a message for you. Handsomely beckons you closer with a languid gesture. I think I can guess. Stephen Dynamite? He coolly raises an eyebrow at you. If you're so smart then, can you guess what his message is? From an avid consumer like Stephen, there's only one possible message. More. Wrong. He says that he's been having terrible nightmares ever since he took your drug. Actually, there are two possible messages. The second one goes, my dealer poisoned me. His mouth broadens. With the myriad of drugs that Stephen filters through his system, it's almost an honor to be singled out this way. That said, I seriously doubt that I poisoned him. Go ahead though, tell me what he wants. What do you think? He wants this new yen back. He straightens abruptly from his elegant slouch and juts his chin out. There was absolutely nothing wrong with my latest creation. It was painstakingly designed to elevate the senses and titillate the spirit. A smooth high that I have indulged in myself. Now, if the unfortunate Stephen happened to dilute my masterpiece with other lesser substances, I can hardly be held responsible. His tone of finality is unmistakable. You can use all the flowery language you want. I'm not leaving here empty-handed. You don't get it. I don't care whether your drugs work or not. I just want Steve's money. Wait. We are actually collecting the money? I thought we were just here to deliver the message. I was just gonna... Oh, no? Okay. And I'm just gonna go back to Steven and he said no. I didn't realize we were actually gonna get the money. You can use all the flowery language you want. I'm not leaving here empty-handed. He stares at you for a long moment, then reaches into his breast pocket. With a deft motion, he pulls out a small packet and presents it to you. There is no money, not anymore. I have expenses, just as I'm sure you do, but here, give this to Stephen with my regards. What's in the package? A freebie. It's what our dear Stephen Dynamite really wants, whether he'll admit it or not. Deliver it with my compliments. I thought that only the first hit was free. He cocks his head to the side with a wry smile. I suppose I have a soft spot for my clients when I know they're down. Does this mean you poisoned him after all and feel bad about it now? The dealer emits a long drawn-out sigh. I most certainly did not poison him, or anyone else for that matter. If Stephen is having bad dreams, they're coming from someplace else. I won't claim that my product can cure him of his suffering, but at the very least, it can provide him with some relief. Relief is the exact word that he used. The dealer nods sagely. I told you that I know Stephen well enough to guess when he'll be desperate for another hit. So his addiction the entire problem? Is that why he's suffering? Is his addiction the entire problem? Is that why he's suffering so much? Lee shakes his head slowly. No, I'm just not surprised to hear from him now because it was time. But I can't explain these unusual dreams he's having. Anyway, he holds the packet out towards you and gives it a shake. Take this, give it to him, it should help him. At least in the short term. Take the drugs for Stephen Dynamite. Alright Lee, I'll take them to him. Very good. Please let me know how it goes when you're done. Bliss. I don't really intend to take this to Stephen. Is he allowed to deal here?